Okay, so our objective today is given a line, I can determine several points that make up parallel lines through another given point, and I can also do the same thing with perpendicular lines. Okay, let's recall the definition of slope. So the slope is the change in y divided by the change in x. We use this formula, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, it's not great, but okay, so y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. The relationship between two parallel lines is that they have the same slope. And so if we have like line 1, the slope might be 2. And then if we also have line 2, the slope would again be 2. They're going to have the same slope. And the relationship between the slopes of two perpendicular lines is they're going to have opposite reciprocal slopes. Opposite reciprocals. So if line 1 has a slope of 3, then line 2, okay, first of all, if we have a whole number, we're going to want to make that into a fraction so that it's easy to see what's happening. So we can always put any number over 1. So opposite means that 1 is going to be positive and 1 is going to be negative, and then reciprocal means that we're going to flip it over. So this slope is positive, so the perpendicular line, it must have a negative slope. So one positive slope, one negative slope, and then we just flip those over. The reciprocal of 3 over 1 is 1 over 3. Okay, so opposite means one line has a negative slope, one line has a positive slope. Reciprocal means that we're going to flip this fraction over. The numerator becomes the denominator and vice versa. Okay, so determine if the following lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is actually find the slope of these two lines. Okay, so you've learned this. Why don't you pause the video and go ahead and find the slopes for those two lines. Okay, so with the slope formula, we found that line 1 has a slope of -3 over 7. Line 2 has a slope of 7 over 3. Okay, so they can't be parallel because they don't have exactly the same slope. So that's out. We'd have to have two positive slopes or two negative slopes. Perpendicular, one positive slope, one negative slope. So we're good so far. Now we just need to check to see if this 3 over 7 has been flipped over. So do we have its reciprocal for line 2? 3 over 7, 7 over 3. Okay, so those are opposite reciprocals. So we can say that these two lines are perpendicular. So if the two slopes are opposite reciprocals, then the two lines, line 1 and 2, are perpendicular. All right, let's do a second one. Parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Go ahead and pause the video, find those two slopes, and then we'll compare them. Okay, so line 1 has a slope of -2. Line 2 has a slope of +2. Okay, so they're not exactly the same, so parallels out. Perpendicular, we've got one negative and one positive, so we're good so far, but we don't have the reciprocal. We just have the same number. We have 2 and 2. We would need 1/2. We would need 1 over 2. So they're not perpendicular, so that means they are neither. Okay, the lines are neither parallel nor perpendicular. Okay, so we're comparing the slopes so that we can say something about those two lines. All right, given a line, how do you plot other points through a given point that make up a parallel line? Okay, so that's what we're going to learn. Just some basic steps are we want to mark 2 clear points and find the slope of the line that we've been given. Okay, so mark 2 clear points and find the slope of the given line. Okay, and then a second step would be to go to that point that we've been given and travel the slope, because parallel lines are going to have the same slope. So go to the given point. So they're going to give you a line and a point, not on that line. So go to the given point and just travel the slope, rise over run. Travel the slope to get additional points. So at least one other or 2 other points to get additional points. Okay, so additional just means more points. So once we have 2 points, we can draw the line, but it may ask us for more than 2. Okay, so graph a line parallel to the given line through the points provided. So I'm going to mark 2 clear points. Okay, and so by clear points, I mean something that is right on the grid, okay, where the grid has an intersection. So I wouldn't want to pick something like right here because I don't know what the coordinates of that are. So that's a clear point. This is another clear point. Okay, and so I can find the slope based on those. So to get from this point here, let's make that point blue. To get from the blue point to the red point, I'm going to go up 1. So remember, rise over run. So I want to do my up or down first. Up 1 and then left 2. Okay, so up 1, positive 1, left 2. And we generally will put the negative on the top. It doesn't matter. And if I had gone from the red point to the blue point, it doesn't matter which one I go to. So if I go there, it would be down 1, right 2, which looks like that slope. So this is the slope. Okay, rise over run. So I'm just going to go to that given point and I'm going to travel this same slope, okay, to get additional points. So down 1, right 2. Okay, down 1, right 2. And I could go the way it looked here. I could go up 1, left 2. So I only need 2 other points. All right, I could draw that line, or maybe it just wants me to put points. Okay, so if I just need to get points, I've done that. I could list the ordered pair. So another point would be 3, 1 or 5, 0. Okay, so if I needed to list ordered pairs, 3, 1, 5, 0, and so on. Maybe they want me to draw the line. So it really just depends on the directions. If I'm drawing a line, I'm just going to draw it. Okay, and these lines look parallel. So if you look back over your work and they don't look parallel, you might have made a mistake. But if I think I did it right and they look parallel, I'm probably in pretty good shape. All right. So the other type of that would be to graph a line that is perpendicular to the given line. Okay, so perpendicular. So the first, same idea, mark 2 clear points. So here's a point. And here's another clear point. So to get from this point to this point, I'm going up 3, right 1. Okay, so I want to get my perpendicular slope. Okay, so we're doing perpendicular. They don't have the same slope. They have opposite reciprocal slope. So opposite means that if this slope is positive, this slope will be negative. And then I'm going to flip these. So the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator. So this is the slope of the perpendicular line. So from the given point, I'm going to travel this slope because I don't want a parallel line. I want a perpendicular line this time. So down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3. And I'm going to go ahead and graph that line. All right, so perpendicular lines should make 4 right angles, so that looks pretty good. They definitely don't look parallel, so I probably did it right. Okay, so I've made a new line that is parallel to the given line, and it goes through the point that they gave me. Okay, so we're going to kind of slowly get to a place where we aren't drawing the graph. We're solving it using some algebra. Okay, so given a line that passes through A, which is 1, 5, and B, which is 2, 3, I want to find N so that this new line is going to be parallel to AB. So this is AB right here. Okay, let's draw that line. Okay, so the red line is line AB. Okay, and I want a line that's parallel. So I need to find out what N is. So one point is P, -3, 1. Okay, and the other point is Q, -4 something. I don't know what. So somewhere here and where X is -4. Well, the slope, okay, so the slope's going to help me out a lot with this. What is the slope of this line, line AB? Because I know that my new line, PQ, is going to have the same slope as AB because they're parallel. Well, the slope is, I pick 2 clear points, I'm just going to use A and B, and I travel up to left 1. So up to left 1. Well, I can do the same thing here. Up to left 1. Up to left 1. I can go this same idea, go the other way, keep going and keep going. Well, I see this line here, but the most important thing that I see is the point on this line that has an x coordinate of -4. Okay, so this point right here is going to be Q, and it's -4, 3. -4, 3. Okay, so if Q is -4, 3, then N is the y coordinate of that point. So N is 3. Okay, same idea, but perpendicular. All right, so A is -2, -2. B is 1, -3. All right, so what is the slope of line AB? Well, I can go ahead and draw that line if I want to. I don't really need it, but we'll go ahead and draw it. So the slope of line AB is 2 clear points, rise over run. So up 1, left 3. Okay, so the slope of AB is up 1, left 3. So I'm looking for perpendicular. So if this slope is negative, then the new slope is going to be positive, and I'm going to flip this over. So 1 over 3 becomes 3 over 1. Okay, now there is a typo. So they're not supposed to be two unknowns here. So we're going to say that this was 3, 4. Okay, so that's a typo. You won't see two unknowns like an N and a Q. Okay, so my one given point then is Q, which is 3, 4. Okay, so I need to figure out what N is. So it's 2 something. It's something here. All right, well, the slope of this line is 3 over 1, the new perpendicular line. So that means perpendicular and upside down capital T. So 3 over 1. So up 3, right 1. Or if I'm out of room, I can go down 3, left 1. Down 3, left 1. Okay, I can make them both negative because two negatives is the same as a positive. So I have my perpendicular line. And even more important, I have P because I found the point on the line that is 2 comma something. In this case, it's 2, 1. So N is 1. Okay, so P is 2, 1. That makes N 1 since it's the y coordinate. Okay, so now we're going to do some algebra to do this. Okay, so the slope of the line, P is -2. Okay, so we have x1, y1, x2, y2. So remember, m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the slope is -2. y2 is going to be this second y, so n minus -1, x2 minus x1. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just simplify where I can. This is n plus 1, and 3 minus 5 is -2. All right, now I want to cross multiply. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a fraction as well. If it's not, just put it over 1, just like I did. So -2 times -2 is 4. And then 1 times n plus 1 is n. Now we should, every time, let's do 1 times n plus 1, because that won't always be a 1. So we don't want to forget to distribute. Obviously, this time it doesn't matter, but in the future it will if it's not a 1. So 1 times n is n, plus 1 times 1 is 1. And I just minus 1, and n is equal to 3. Oh. Okay, so that is parallel, what I just did. So what we want to do is perpendicular. So you're probably sitting there the whole time yelling, it's perpendicular. Okay, so let's just do that too. All right, so same idea, only this time, let's actually do what they asked. Okay, so that would have been parallel, and maybe they would have asked me that. Who knows? That would be fun though. But perpendicular, so the slope is -2. So a perpendicular slope, if it's -2, would be positive 2 over 1. Now I'm ready to cross multiply. Oh my gosh. Sorry, positive 1 over 2. Now I'm getting all fouled up. So positive 1 over 2. This is like a live lesson. Okay, so positive 1 over 2. So this is the original. Perpendicular would be flip it over and change its sign. Now let's cross multiply. Okay, let me not make any more mistakes. So 1 over 2, n minus -1. And then we have 1 times -2 and 2 times n plus 1. So see, I told you it would come in handy to make those parentheses. Now I really do need to distribute 2 times n, 2 times 1, Now we're just solving for n. Negative 4 equals 2n. So n is equal to negative 2. Okay, so that's the real answer for that one. So I did parallel first when I should have done perpendicular because I wasn't paying attention. So don't be like me. All right, so the next one is parallel, and the good news is we know how to do it. Okay, so parallel. So we're going to be using the same slope. So 3 is equal to y2 minus y1, so n minus negative 4, and then x2 minus x1, so 3 equals n plus 4 over minus a negative, so these become like pluses, so negative 2, put that over 1, cross multiply, 3 times negative 2, 1 times n plus 4, still n plus 4, subtract 4, so n is equal to negative 10. All right, good job.